Okay. I absolutely hate doing things like this, but I should probably record this while it's freshest in my mind. I just don't understand what happened. All last week I was trying to get a hold of the apartment manager, and generally voicemails don't work. Never get a reply to them. So I was mostly just trying to call back again and again, but I finally left one voicemail on the off chance and said that I was trying to get a hold of her and to please call me when she could. And this morning I get a call and she just asked to speak with Autumn. I said, "This is she." And she didn't ask if she could help me or anything. She just immediately launched into, I said, "This is she. Thank you for calling me back," because I saw the ID. And she immediately launched into this. I just hate it when people leave messages like that on the phone. I'm in the office every day. I just took a few days off took 3 days off last week because I was sick. I was really thrown back by the attitude, but make nice is generally the best principle. So I just said, "I'm really sorry. Hope you're feeling better." And she said, "That doesn't matter. What can I help you with?" So I started to try to explain the situation, but it was clear she had no idea what was going on. And she wasn't listening either. She didn't seem to want to know what was going on. She just kept going round and round, acting like I was an idiot, telling me that there's no assigned parking and they have plenty of handicap spaces, which they do not. And so on. So the thing is, many years ago, one of the managers here put a handicap space right outside here, not too far from my entryway, because there's not really handicap spaces around here, and I needed one. Then my placard came up for renewal, and I submitted the paperwork, but unbeknownst to me, there was a flood at my doctor's office, and unbeknownst to them, my paperwork was one of the things that got lost. So I was waiting and waiting for it, and when I called the DMV, they said they were especially busy on the voicemail and to give it, however, a few weeks. So I didn't even bother talking to a person. I just hung up and waited. When nothing happened in weeks' time, and mine was no longer valid, I called back, found it wasn't even in their system. So I asked her to send me some new paperwork, and I didn't know what was going on, but I'd start over or something. So she started doing that. Meanwhile, the maintenance guy here started to give me a bunch of flack about how I wasn't parking in the handicap space like I needed to be. And I told him I can't. I know there's limited parking here, but I'm going to get towed if I park there with an expired handicap placard. And he kept telling me that I had to park there. I said, "No, that's illegal. I cannot do that." And he kept pushing me, and I just told him, no. Well, a little while later, I came in after physical therapy one day and saw that the handicap space was gone. He had taken the sign down. And of course, that day, the placard came in. So I've been trying to get a hold of the manager and ask her to please put the sign back up. And she's refusing. She's saying he must have had a perfectly good reason to take it down. Yes, and I tried to explain to her, but that reason is no longer valid. I got the new placard in. And she said there's plenty of handicapped spaces. They have handicapped spaces. No, they don't. And next thing I know, she's saying something about how she sees no reason why they need to accommodate me, that there's nothing special about me or something like that. I said, I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm just asking for something that was already there for all these years. Just simple access to my home. That's all. She said some other rude things, and I honestly don't remember what it was. And then goodbye. Then she calls right back and asks for my apartment number. I just thought that was weird, so I asked why. And she asked again, and I said, well, but why? She said, well, because I want to give you some paperwork. What kind of paperwork? Well, it doesn't matter. Well, what kind of paperwork? I just want to give you some paperwork. What's your apartment number? I said, well, why so secretive? I'm not being secretive. I just don't want to tell you. That was an exact quote. And that was weird. I said, that sounds like a secret. And she just said, I'll look it up myself. And she hung up. So now I'm really freaking out. Like, what is she doing? The last interaction one of us had with her is when David went down to do something or another. He knocked on the door, waited. He knocks loud. And then he went in, and she was in the bathroom, and he just stood there, just inside the door. When she came out, she started yelling at him. Like, how dare he just walk into the place? He's supposed to knock first, and all sorts of stuff. And she's so tired of people doing that, and they have no right. And he did knock. And that's not how you treat people. You don't want them just walking in when you go to the bathroom. Lock the door. That's what previous managers did. So now I'm freaking out. I don't know what I'll do if I don't get that handicap space. And I don't know what kind of paperwork she's trying to pull and what other legal crap. I feel completely run over here. When I tried to call the company she works for, she's the one who answered. How can I report her to her boss? The first button I pushed to get me to the right place said, it just automatically sent me to a voicemail box and said the voicemail box is full, goodbye, and hung up. So then I routed to the next best idea I had on their little phone tree thing, and it sent me to her. I acted like it was a wrong number. I am really uncomfortable with anything remotely like a lie. And I mean, I didn't lie, I just hung up, but I didn't even say wrong number, but still, it just, I don't like that. It's just too close. To me, there's truth, and there's everything else, and I like to stay with truth. So I tried to look online, but the HUD site was confusing, and the Oregon State site was confusing, and I'm already suffering a whole bunch of, neurological decline, cerebral, I don't know, my neurologist had words for it, but you get the gist. I mean, I'm already dying of kidney failure. I've got the potential of breast cancer coming right up behind it. I've got this neurological whatever I can't think worth a darn. Every time I turn around, there's some new pain syndrome popping up, and no painkillers allowed because of the kidney disease. She doesn't know that, and I don't expect her to. And it doesn't mean that I should get treated nice and everyone else shouldn't. But I really am disabled, and I really could use that space. I'm not asking for much. Just the ability to get to my home a little bit easier from the car. I'm practically homebound and bedridden most of the time when I'm home anyway. The rare times that I leave the house, it's a huge deal. And I'm already stuck living upstairs, so going up those stairs is a huge deal. If I have to make a walk on top of those stairs, the irony is I will have to stop going to my doctors and physical therapists and all of that stuff. I'll just... Oh, I am so stressing about this. Oh God, grief, this thing is 13 minutes long now. I don't know if anyone else will ever see this, but at this point, they'll never want to at this length. Let's see, today is the 16th? Well, it's Monday, and last Friday was Friday the 13th. So there. And it is just coming up on 11:15, so this is Autumn Woden. Hoping to have a better day.